The feds finally got P Diddy and they found the Tupac footage. They knew that he had something to do with it. That's why after all these years the karma's coming back on P Diddy for what he did to Tupac, Biggie, Cassie, and everybody else. If you guys are fans of Tupac and you want to get justice for him, put 222 in the comment section. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, because now they really about their business about getting the justice for Tupac. It's been way too long and a lot of people have been telling them that they've been waiting and there has been nothing that's done right now. If you look at it, they got Keefy D in the holding tank and he's basically trying to tell him everything he can to get out of his whole entire bid. And so this is why they spilled the beans on P Diddy. They already exposed him for what he did with Cassie, Jennifer Lopez, Kim Porter. RIP to Kim Porter, RIP to Tupac and Biggie. And basically now the feds are taking it serious, because when this whole thing opened up, they thought it was just a couple allegations, but now it's turned into a whole entire RICO case, because not only did P Diddy send the $1 million hit, but the guy who he sent it to is basically saying that he did it and he's the one that was the mastermind of the whole entire operation. This is what the feds exactly want to hear. They've been trying to investigate this for 27 years, going on 28 years now. And they're finally getting to the bottom of it, because one thing for sure is that they're not going to let P Diddy get away with this, especially after he just paid the $30 million judgment to Cassie, and he paid way more millions to other people, but they were like pretty much not allowed to come out and speak on it. A lot of the NDAs that Diddy had people sign, they're over with now. A lot of people are coming out and they're saying their story of how they survived P Diddy. The movie's about to come out. 50 Cent is working on the Surviving P Diddy movie and documentary as we speak, and he's talked to all of the victims, all of the witnesses, and he's trying to make sure that each and every single one of their stories comes out, because what P Diddy did to them, man, he was wrong for that, and he knows for a fact that he should have never thought about going that way. He got his millions of dollars, he got famous, he got money and everything like that, he had power, but he took it too far, man. He got greedy, and this is what's wrong with a lot of people. They can never be satisfied, they never have enough, and this is the same exact situation with P Diddy. He thought that just because they didn't catch him for the Tupac right away, he thought he got away with everything, and so this is what made him be bold enough to try to do the same thing to Biggie Smalls, Kim Porter, and Cassie was going to be next, but luckily she was able to evade that, escape from that whole entire place that he was holding her at, and now she finally got her $30 million, but that doesn't even come close to making up for all of the things that she went through, man. All of the things that Tupac's family went through, Tupac's mom, man, she was really trying to get the justice, and so now they have to do it for the people who is not here, and they was trying to get the justice for it for the longest time, man. And so now if you look at this Tupac situation, they got the main people that they need. They know what Suge Knight's story is. They talked to Mike Tyson and 50 Cent. They heard about what was going on in the streets of New York, about the rumors of what P Diddy had to do with this, but it came out of Keefy D's mouth in those interviews when he went on a lot of those interviews in those shows, talking about how P Diddy was the one that gave him the money. P Diddy really wanted to get Tupac taken out. He even told the story about how Diddy called him and actually confirmed if that was the hit that went down was the one that they did. So what that did is he put everybody in jeopardy, basically talking about putting their business out there for the feds to be able to hear, because everyone knows that a lot of rappers, a lot of people who even go on Vlad and they say anything about something that had a crime tied to it, the feds are going to hear it and they're going to find a way to basically use the words against him. And so what Keefy D was doing when he was telling Vlad all of that information, like voluntarily, he was basically testifying and knowing that, I don't know if he knew this, but the feds be watching and they listen to every single one of those interviews. This is how all those rappers end up getting something happen to them. They get in trouble because of what they said on those interviews. And so what Keefy D did, he spilt the beans. He talked about their whole entire operation, how they planned, how they set up Tupac and everything, how much money that the guy wrote on the check. And then he even told him about the fact that he passed the strap back to his nephew and everything. He put his nephew on the line and everything like that. And so at the end of the day, they realized that Keefy D, he's willing to talk and he has a lot of information pertaining to this case, and this is why they let him keep going on and going on, because they knew that if thought he was telling somebody to get famous or to get more eyes and attention on him, because he got paid for them interviews. So he thought that, oh, maybe he could get another one and another one if he gives out the real details of exactly what happened. He went against his own code of conduct. And so a lot of people are looking at Keefy D like he pretty much snitched on P Diddy, but they all got affected by the karma, because they should have never been involved in doing this to Tupac. Tupac was a good role model. A lot of people in the whole country, they were more fans of Tupac than they were of Diddy, Snoop Dogg, Suge Knight, or any of them other people. And a lot of people think that just because Keefy D and Snoop Dogg are both from LA, or they live in the same area and they basically walk the same path every day, that they had to have known each other. And this is why they throw in Snoop Dogg in the mix, because they know for a fact that he was the main rapper before Tupac came on with Suge Knight under the same label. And so this is the reason why they had some, like, there could have been some unresolved issues. There could have been issues between Diddy and Suge Knight that spilled over into Tupac. It was also the East Coast West Coast beef was going on at the same time. And so it was a lot of things that all just boiled over to the tipping point, to where something ended up happening to somebody, and it all falls in the hands of P Diddy, Keefy D. And even they thought that at first Suge Knight had something to do with it, but once they found out that Suge Knight even got grazed by the same rounds that came and got Tupac, they knew that he wouldn't put himself in harm's way like that if he was actually a part of it, knowing what was going to happen. But in the streets, they talking right now, and they said that there was a lot of people that knew what was going to happen beforehand, and they didn't call Tupac to try to tell him to avoid it. The only person that had real, like, intuition of something that was about to go down was Mike Tyson, and the last words that Mike Tyson told to Tupac was, "Be careful, man. A lot of these people in the game, they're fake. They're trying to get you in some sort of way or fashion." And this is what he told him. He said, "Don't go around P Diddy too much. He's got something against you. He's trying to conjure up a storm to have something happen." And so this is why Mike Tyson, he was very upset when he found the news out about Tupac, because he didn't want him to go hang with the Entourage. He told him to be careful with the entourages, man. A lot of these rappers, they have a whole group of people that they go all these places with, that they hang out with, and they gotta pay for all these people in their entourage and everything. And at the end of the day, the entourage is not doing anything to protect them. They're just in for the joyride, basically. Mike Tyson told him, "Don't go out with your entourage. Wait until the fight is over and you could come and chill with me." They were actually in, like, they're in the downtown. They had the highest suites and the presidential rooms and everything like that. This was the fight night in Vegas. You know that everything goes down, and that he should have been waited until Mike Tyson was. But Mike Tyson knew something was about to happen. He tried to warn him and say, "Hey, just wait until I'm done. We're going to have a whole night. We don't need the entourage with us. It'll just be me, you, and the security guards." And basically he was trying to, like, hint at the fact that it could be people out there that were trying to go after Tupac. And so Mike Tyson, he had to go work. And so he couldn't stay there to watch after Tupac or anything like that. And so eventually Tupac ended up going with the entourage. The next thing you know, the chain snatching incident happens, the stomping out in the MGM Grand happens, then they flee to the parking garage. And that's when they noticed that like anybody that from the entourage should have known at that moment that somebody was following Tupac in Suge Knight's car. But the people in the entourage, they were too busy flexing and just being around and everything, that they didn't want to say anything to spook him or anything like that. And so this was their main mistake. That's why when the entourage pulled up in the traffic light right behind Suge Knight and Tupac, they didn't know they were actually way far behind. They should have been right there to the side of Tupac, so that Keefy D's white Cadillac didn't even get a chance to be at that same time and same place for them to be able to pull this whole thing off, man. He could have been saved if you really think about it. This is why a lot of people got to realize that you shouldn't have to be hanging around way too many people. Don't mix the crowds. If the people that you're hanging around with are involved in something that you shouldn't be involved in, then you got to cut them loose and you got to take your L, or basically burn that bridge if you have to, because at the end of the day, you have to keep the safeties the most important thing. This is what Mike Tyson was trying to tell Tupac the whole entire time, man. And the entourage people, a lot of times, man, you see that it's the downfall of most rappers is the people that surround them, because they always get them caught up in the mix. They're always trying to get them to go out, spend the money, go to the places where they're showing their face a lot. And it could be haters